call the meeting to order and welcome everyone to the 2025 Lewis County Board of Legislators organizational meeting. Legislator Frost,
Here.
Legislator Calamus,
Here.
Legislator Leindecker,
Here.
Legislator Nortz,
Here.
Legislator Morahan,
Here.
Legislator Levaker,
Here.
Legislator Osborne,
Here.
Legislator Nellenbach,
Here.
and Legislator Dahlhoff. Now I will ask for nominations for a chair of the Board of Legislators for 2025.
I nominate Larry Dahlhoff, that position.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you, Andrea. Are there any other nominations for chair? If there are no other nominations, may I get a motion to close the polls and have the clerk of the board cast one unanimous ballot for Legislator Dahlhoff? Herb and Tom?
Yep.
Now I will ask legislators Levaker and Morahan to please escort the chair to the seat. And Legislator Mosier is present.
Thank everyone for your support. Hope we have a good year this year as we had last year. And we will move to the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone please stand, and Legislator Calamus will lead us in the invocation.
Heavenly Father, as we stand before you in the doorway of 2025, we thank you for all the blessings seen and unseen in 2024. Give us the strength to be resilient, rise above any negativity from the world, and always walk in your light in our decision making. We ask this in your name. Amen.
The December 19th board meeting minutes have been distributed, and if there are no amendments, they stand approved. Privilege of the floor. Would anyone like privilege of the floor? Arlene, would you please come forward and state your name for the record?
Good evening to you all. My name is Arlene Hall. I am here as a member of the Board of Directors of the Lewis County Historical Society. First of all, I'd like to wish you all a Happy New Year. Congratulations, Mr. Chair, on your reelection. I know we are in good hands with you. First of all, I would like to say as a board member, we thank you all for the allotment and the inclusion in the Lewis County budget. It's very important to us. We thank you very much. And secondly, I would like to say that each year we publish the Journal of the Lewis County Historical Society. This has been a publication that has been published and worked on and printed every year since the 1960s. And each year we have a new edition that features local history articles written by local people and in a great committee that puts in many volunteer hours. And this year we thought we would hand deliver them to you. They are usually distributed in December or so. Lots of interesting information in here, and so we hope you will take the time to look this over. We have a committee of about 6 people that are very dedicated, that work very hard at this, and as I say, easily, as we go to print, the editor puts in, for that last month, easily 40 volunteer hours. That doesn't count all that is done before then. Another activity that is coming up that is very important to us is the Black River Valley Concert Series. You'll see on the inside back cover that there's information of all of those concerts, a great opportunity to come out on a Saturday evening during the winter to enjoy some local music. So again, I thank you. Very happy to work with you. I'm sure that our president will keep you informed, and we wish you a very good year. Thank you for your service to us.
Thank you, Arlene, for the kind words. Sheriff, would you like to come forward? While you're on the way up, I'm looking in the middle of the Lewis County Historical Journal here, looking at the pistol of Sheriff Peter Curley, and it looks like they've come quite a ways compared that to what you have now.
Glad to hear that, sir. First off, Happy New Year to you all, and looking forward to a good year starting off. I just wanted to bring to your attention, during the weekend, of course, during the snowstorm we had and everything, I want to thank the County Highway Department and the State DOT for doing a great job out there, and our people too as well, the Sheriff's Office and the State Police in the village. But we did have a couple incidents that I wanted to bring to light. We had one individual, and where I'm going with this is this will involve mental health, I think, and maybe some help from the hospital too in the near future if we can. But we had one individual that we had to attend to 9 times for various things. And it wasn't the most of serious complaints, but it was enough that we, warranted a 911 response. And I think the person has an affliction, no doubt, but it's not something that the sheriff's office or the state police can always handle when there's other priority calls out there. And so I'm just looking for some help later on, tomorrow, whatever, a phone call from either agency. But what happened was the individual, due to their affliction, self-inflicted some minor things to themselves, created disturbances at their residence. But it took, like I said, it was 9 times over the weekend. And during the bad weather, we had to send cars to that location. And then we had to send the car up to the hospital as well to help them out. And that was another thing that we were kind of also had a confliction with, is that sometimes when people are brought there for services, they need to be there to get taken care of. But then they want to just leave on their own and walk out. When they walk out on their own, then we're called to bring them back into the hospital. The problem with that is once you bring them back into the hospital, then they give the hospital people a hard time. Then they want them out. And I understand that. So I was wondering, like you say, tomorrow, whatever, during the week, if somebody from mental health services or one of the organizations that we have in the county would just give us a call, it'd be a big help to us and the state police, so we can stop this from occurring, and maybe give this individual some more help. I know we have plenty of resources here that we do have, but I think that they're just not that they're not willing to call out, but I think they're just shy of it, I should say. And we just need some help there, something better we can give them, that we're not tying our patrols up on something that's not a priority where we need to get other cars to accidents and things like that. So.
Sheriff, I'll set up a meeting with you and Anna Platts, our new Director of Community Services. In fact, I believe there's an initiative this year where there will be a mental health first response for those types of things.
Yes,
that's not police.
Yeah, I know it was talked about before, back 4 years back, when they had that reimagination and reinvention thing they had going on, but I just didn't really get off the ground there. We were supposed to kind of handle things, within our county the best that we could. So this definitely has brought that up to the surface where we have to do something here. And I know we have enough help in here. We just want to know who it would be and how we can get this person the assistance they need. So, and that's it. All right. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Would anyone else like privilege of the floor? If not, we'll move to report of the Financial Rules Committee per Rule 6. Cassandra, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance and Rules Committee has met, and they recommend to waive rules to act upon late resolutions.
Someone like to move that? Andrea, second by Vince. Any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries. Clerk of the Board report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The legislators received the fourth quarter 2024 bed tax revenue report from the Treasurer's Office. Emergency Management Director Robert McKenzie filed his 2025 appointments for Lewis County Fire Coordinators as follows: Richard Ross, Gary Ashline, Robert Bellinger, Joseph Shue, Jeffrey Nellenbach, and Ronald Gingrich. These volunteers will continue as fire coordinators until further notice. The U.S. Small Business Administration, or SBA, announced it will open a disaster loan outreach center in the Lewis County Outdoor Services Conference Room on Friday, January 3rd at 11 o'clock a.m. The center will assist businesses and residents who sustained economic losses and physical damages caused by the severe storms, tornadoes, and flooding that occurred August 18th and 19th of 2024. They will offer support with physical damage and economic injury disaster loans. The SBA issued the disaster declaration under the Disaster Assistance for Rural Communities Act in response to a request from Governor Kathy Hochul. Walk-ins are accepted, but you can schedule an in-person appointment in advance by going to appointment.sba.gov. The Lewis County Outdoor Services Conference Room is located at 7356 East Road, just outside of Wavell, and the SBA office hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They will only be in Lewis County until January 17th at 4 p.m., so please stop in or make an advance appointment by going to appointment.sba.gov. A reminder to all legislators that there will be a brief goal-setting presentation prior to the start of legislative committee meetings this month. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Standing committee reports. We'll start with Finance and Rules Committee with Legislator Osborne.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to report that the Planning and Community Development is developing a Round 1 County Infrastructure Grant Program funding application for up to $500,000, where New York State Empire State Development is supporting county-led smaller scale infrastructure projects with enhanced awards of up to $1 million. For projects supporting housing infrastructure, various projects have been evaluated. However, being that the project requires a 50% match and should be commenced within 1 year of the award, currently the plan is to prepare an application to utilize the funding towards roadway improvement projects that incorporate complete street elements. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions for Tom? Thanks, Tom. We'll move to
Thank you.
General Services with Legislator Moorhan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Highway has been busy this winter with maintenance. Employees at the Highway Department have done an amazing job with snow removal. Since first snowfall, they have spent over 1,200 hours plowing and sanding about 68 miles of county roads. They would like to recognize the work done by all the towns in the county to help them maintain the remaining 179 miles. As always, our highway employees strive to keep the roads as safe as possible and appreciate courtesy from the public while they're on the road. Two common safety hazards they see while out are snow plowed across the road from driveways and cars traveling too fast for conditions as they approach plow trucks. Please keep in mind these pieces of equipment are suited for snow removal and not everyday traffic. Another note, please keep headlights on during snowfall. This makes an incredible difference in visibility for other drivers on the road. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Andrea? Thank you, Andrea. And we'll go to next is Human Services Committee with Legislator Moser.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Lewis County Public Health's renovation project will be completed over the next few weeks so that beginning February 3rd, all public health staff will be located together in the basement of the Children's Health Building at the hospital. Public Health was notified over the weekend by New York State Department of Health Laboratory that a cat from the town of New Bremen had tested positive for rabies. Public Health would like to stress the importance of getting your animals vaccinated. Public Health, in collaboration with Countryside Vet Clinic, is holding a rabies clinic on Saturday, January 11th from 10 a.m. to noon at the Maple Ridge Center. There is a new healthy lifestyle program starting January 16th. For anyone willing or anyone wishing to participate in the program, they should call 315-376-5453 and ask to speak to Jennifer Edick. Lewis County Department of Social Services would like everyone to know that January is National Human Trafficking Prevention Month, with January 11th being National Human Trafficking Awareness Day. Be sure to check out the county Facebook page for more information throughout the month. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Questions for Jessica? Thank you. And we'll move to the board's rep on the hospital board of managers with Legislator Norton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I'd like to defer to Mr. Kayer, who has some information he'd like to share with us.
Welcome, Jerry. About Mother Superior.
I also want to extend my greetings for a happy new year to you all, and let's hope this is a year of safety, health, and prosperity, and we'll work down that path. I have a sort of eclectic presentation of things, but the first document I want to refer to is what I just passed out to you. You've seen this before each year since I've been here. Where we get a report from Haney's, the Health Association of New York State, which is very specific to hospitals and their local communities. So this is speaking to the economic impact that the hospital has on its community. So this is the 2025 report reflecting data from 2023. It just takes that long for it all to work through the system. So our economic activity or our impact locally was $141 million in 2023. We generated 800 jobs, and through our activity generated $15 million in taxes. Now, obviously, that's not all here locally, but our impact that is felt statewide. And we had payroll of $50 million. In 2023, we served 131,000 outpatient visits. We had 11,000 individuals use the emergency department, and we had 800 people admitted to the hospital. The reason I share this with you is it just validates and speaks to our importance to the overall economic fabric of Lewis County. So after you've had a chance to look at this, if you have any follow-up questions, please let me know, and I'm happy to sit with you as a group or individually. Financial report from last month. The month of November, when you look at our operating statement, you would think, wow, we sort of lost our way. We are reporting an operating loss of a little over $2 million, but it was an unusual month for us. And I thought I'd speak to that. On a year-to-date basis, we have an operating gain of $500,000 set against the budget that through November, we were projecting a $32,000 loss. So that's a good part of the message. But what was different about November's budget? In a few minutes, you will be passing resolutions, I'm assuming. And Resolution 11, 2025 speaks to the Vineski report. There's a small piece in that resolution. And from 2008 forward, nearly every year, the health system did not make its contribution to the cost allocation as reflected by the Vineski report. So we expensed all of those years of that administrative cost allocation in November's financials. And that was almost $2.1 million. We also had to expense the pension payment for this year, and that was nearly $600,000. And, you know, we take Eric's lead on this. We pay early so we can get the discount. We also made a health insurance payment in support of the health fund balance. And that was $2.2 million. And basically, we were trying to account for the extra costs associated with caring for our employees and their dependents. And so that's where that came from. And we also recognized an IGT payment of $3 million. So when you put it all together with the traditional, you know, day-to-day, week-to-week operating budget, that's what led to the $2 million deficit for the month of November. So the Board of Managers and our Finance Committee went into great detail on our November financials. Mr. Norris was there for the board meeting, quite a bit of discussion there as well. So our Finance Committee is very active and very much into the weeds. They do a great job. It's a very spirited committee where there's a terrific dialogue. The committee meeting typically will go between 1 hour and an hour and a half. So I just want to assure you that the Board of Managers has complete understanding. The management team from the health system has understanding. And I guess with that, and this very brief presentation, do you have any questions? And as a side note, I'm very supportive of Resolution 11, 2025. I really appreciated the work that Eric and Tim and Jeff Hellinger, the hospital CFO, and the four of us getting together. And I appreciated the work that Joan brought in trying to capture something that inherently is a bit confusing into a resolution that you can actually follow and understand. All right, next, on a good note, I'm gonna be very quickly rushing off because we have a CNA graduation this evening. So I don't want to be late. I'm one of the speakers. So I want to get there and welcome this next group of eight CNAs to the nursing home. We are working really hard to grow our own CNAs. The CNA role is not the kind of role like an RN where people will travel greater distances to go to the hospital that they work at. Generally speaking, our CNAs come from Lewis County, or they live this side of Jefferson County to our county line, and the same down south. But so we're adding 8 more to the ranks after tonight. So with that, do you have any questions for me? Terrific. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. County manager report, please, Tim.
Few things to report. At the January committee meeting, obviously, we're going to be talking about goal setting. I would also like at the Finance and Rules Committee to do a state of the county message and just kind of update everybody on where we stand going forward and looking forward to the 2026 fiscal year. Joan has scheduled a call with Ken Ayers and is working on the legislation so we can get moving on the road efficiency program. Joan's been working hard on getting that ready to go. And also, short-term rentals is a new piece of legislation that just passed in Albany. We're just starting to get the actual text. In fact, today was the first day we saw the body of the text. The one thing that will be good is under the new law, any Airbnbs or short-term rentals, the actual online platform will have to collect sales tax revenue on those, and that should be beneficial to the county. And also, they are going to be required to report to a registry at the county level. But there's more details. We're just kind of figuring it out. The state was going to take it all on, and the state opted to say, yes, we want to do this, but we're going to give it to the county to control the registry and the bed tax. So we'll be working on that. And that is all I have.
Questions for Tim? Gary?
Some terrific news from yesterday, and I can't believe I forgot. Our New Year's baby arrived yesterday, and we'll have a special recognition for mom and dad tomorrow. It's a little boy, and you'll get the rest of the information after all the forms are signed. But we expect you'll see it over the media. And we ended last week with our 80th baby being born. The boys had a slight edge over the girls, but so we welcomed 80 new Lewis County residents last year. So, and one last note, we have 3 more deliveries scheduled for this week.
So what was the guesstimate? What were you expecting to do the first year? Do you remember?
Jeff, do you recall?
Oh, you
So
did.
we started March 25th
And ended up with 80.
with 80.
So
Yep.
that's good, right?
Yeah, so it's a good path. So thank you for allowing me to
Thank
come
you.
in out of order.
County Treasurer Report, Mr. Rickler.
Yes, thank you. You have my written report, the normal summary of sales tax and other information. Our sales tax continues to remain on a good trend for this year, slightly above the 2023 amounts. So hopefully we'll finish the year in that same trend. Health insurance fund notes, I think Jerry just mentioned one item I included in there on that payment that the hospital added into the fund. So that's been beneficial. And then I think I would definitely call attention to the second page of the report that I provided, which is a summary of our ARPA activity. You might have seen various pieces of information on this. Is one of the deadlines for ARPA funds was 12/31/2024, that all of the money we were getting from the federal government had to be obligated by that date. We set up a plan, I don't know when, way back in 2021, probably maybe even earlier, on how we were going to use those funds. And we really did a good job following that plan. So we did not have any last minute activity we needed to do to make that deadline. I would call to your attention on that summary, the obligated to and still to be spent. There are really only 2 categories where we still have funds to be spent. One is on facade improvements. And I believe that those projects are in place and should be spent in the very upcoming months. And then the second portion is on the recreation and rail project, and those funds are just waiting for the contract to to purchase that property for those funds to be spent. So I think we're in pretty good shape, and wanted to make sure you were aware of that. That's all I have, and any questions I will do the best I can to answer.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, resolutions. Are there any resolutions that might be considered for consent? Not sure.
I have down resolution number 3 and resolution number 14 to be pulled from the
Okay.
consent resolutions. Would you like me to do my report for the finance and rules?
Sure.
I'm sorry. The Finance and Rules Committee reports that they have examined the claims presented for payment in the total amount of $1,864,057.03.
Need a motion? Herb, second. Vince, discussion. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries. Now we can do the resolution. So number 3 and number 14 can be considered consent resolutions. Why don't we just do them all individually? And
Resolution number 1 of 2025 is a resolution adopting standing rules of the Lewis County Board of Legislators.
moved by Jessica, second by Tom Helmus. Discussion. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries.
Resolution number 2 of 2025 is a resolution with reference to Vice Chair of Lewis County Board of Legislators, being Legislator Thomas Osborne.
Moved by Andrea, second by Jeff. Discussion. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries.
Resolution number 3 is auditing and allowing in claims in the amount of $1,864,057.03.
Moved by Herb. Do I have a second? Josh? Discussion.
Mr. Chairman, there are no payments made to me, but there are payments made upon vouchers I approved, so I will be abstaining from this.
Okay, please note that. And this is roll call.
Legislator Calamus,
Yes.
Legislator Lindecker,
Yes.
Legislator Morahan,
Yes.
Legislator Nellenbach,
Yes.
Legislator Frost,
Yes.
Legislator Mosier abstained, Legislator Nortz,
Yes.
Legislator Leviker,
Yes.
Legislator Osborne,
Yes.
and Legislator Dahlhoff.
Yes.
Resolution number 4 is a resolution approving the form and the amount of a blanket undertaking covering officers, clerks, and employees of Lewis County.
Moved by Tom Osborne. For a second. Andrea, discussion. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries.
Resolution number 5 is a resolution waiving the need for a surety bond on the part of the Chair of the Board of Legislators.
Moved by Jess, second by Josh. Discussion. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries.
Resolution number 6 is a resolution authorizing Fire Advisory Board and providing for payment of allowable expenses.
By Tom Kalmus, second by Vince. Discussion. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries.
Resolution number 7 is a resolution to extend authorization to CanRx Services as a Lewis County Health Insurance Plan vendor.
Jessica, discussion. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries.
Resolution number 8 is a resolution to appropriate funds into various capital reserve accounts.
Herb, second. Andrea, discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Carries.
Resolution number 9 is a resolution to transfer funds into the County Highway Department.
Tom Osborne, second by Herb. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Carries.
Resolution number 10 is a resolution authorizing supplemental agreement number 3 to the contract between the New York State Department of Transportation and Lewis County for the Transportation Federal Aid Bridge Replacement Project known as County Road 17 over Cobb Creek.
Moved by discussion. Favor? Carries.
Resolution number 11 is a resolution authorizing amended MOU to retire outstanding balance of indebtedness owing by the county to Lewis County Health System under 2018 MOU.
Vince, second by Tom Kalmus. Discussion. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries.
Resolution number 12 is a resolution authorizing licensing and consulting agreements between Shy International Corporation and the County of Lewis for data disaster recovery and backup solutions.
Josh, second. Jessica, discussion. Favor? Anyone opposed? Carries.
Resolution number 13 is a resolution awarding contract to Labella Associates for engineering and environmental professional services under state and federal grant projects.
Herb, second. Andrea, discussion. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries.
Resolution number 14 is a resolution awarding bid to Labella Associates to conduct a reuse study on a decommissioned school.
By Jess, second by Jeff. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carries.
Resolution number 15 is a resolution authorizing
Sorry. Back up.
We're really looking at taking over another school. We got two that we own now.
No, the intention is not to take over the school. It's to do a reuse study and hopefully be able to attract some developers to purchase it. It's not for us to purchase the school. It's just to try to help Naturally Lewis market the school to a developer to get it reused.
We got two we're gonna try to remarket now and we're having problems.
Right. They
Um,
either
why don't they just auction it off like Beaver River did with their old school? Years ago, they put it up for auction.
and that may still happen. The idea would be hopefully the developer that buys it has a plan to actually use the school, because what you see is just like the Lions Falls School, when they put them up for sale without a plan, somebody buys it thinking they can live in it. They can't. The school starts to get in disrepair, and 10 or 15 years later, it's fallen down, and we're trying to figure out what to do with the mess.
Does ACS still own the school right now, though? Because they're obviously operating it right now.
They're operating it right now. They
And they're-
will not be done until the school year's over.
But they're not under a lease. They actually own it right now.
Yes.
39,000 though. Isn't it their problem, not really ours?
I think that's the question, Barry, is it becomes the county's problem in 10 years. Somebody buys it, they don't do anything with it, they don't pay taxes, and then we end up taking it for back taxes, and then we have to clean up the mess. It's a lot like, the cheese factory. There's nothing and what we found with the schools is if you get in front of them sooner than later and hopefully get them into the right hands, they can become something as opposed to a blight in the community. And that's what the hope is.
I think it's fair to say we're trying to get ahead of this because, the situation in Lions Falls went on forever and we've got a real blight problem there. And the Glenfield School was headed in the same direction. We're hopefully got lucky there, but I think this is an effort to try to get ahead of it instead of, getting behind it and then, try to pick it up and keep it moving.
As far as schools that have been abandoned, wasn't there one in Turin as well? Whatever happened with all that, John?
There's the old school in Turin. It's occupied by the ARC, front half. It's owned by the ARC. It's not occupied currently. It's actually condemned at the moment. And that's another similar situation where the building has aged. There's problems with the building. Mr. Daly is aware of those. It was condemned, I believe, 2 years ago. And that's sitting vacant at the moment. They use it for cold storage, but as to Larry's point, in 10, 15 years, that may become a blight problem down the road. That could be, that building may be $150,000 problem down the road for demolition. So, I do see it's a $39,000 investment here. It is $39,000 for the Adirondack School, but I think it might steer someone in business per se in the right direction rather than have it become a larger problem down the road after us in the future. Be proactive rather than reactive. So
I think that's proximal to the Micron project. As that moves forward, this could be turned into apartments for, people, workers that are, employed there. So
I see the money's coming out of the Planning and Community Development Fund. Did that originate from a grant or?
no, yes. Else? Barry, should we re-vote this? Can we do that?
Sorry, you can do that because you missed when we first
Okay.
need to have discussion, so you can redo it.
Well, hopefully turns into a success story by our effort rather than, a demolition story in 10 years. So
Finding out, most of them, the ceilings are bad, the roofs, and you gotta replace them.
I kind of tend to agree with you, Barry, but on the other aspect, the community has to go through how many years of looking at an eyesore before it becomes that. If the school board was forced to do that, I would agree with it, but they're not. So my fear, it's in my community, that it's going to become a blight. And hopefully this investment will pay for itself in revenue coming back to the county through taxes. If it goes the right way versus the Lions Falls School. I don't want a Lions Falls School in West Leyden. That's.
And I understand that, but
I understand it's a lot of money. I do, but I'm hoping that it pays for itself in the long run.
good.
Resolution number 15 is a resolution authorizing termination of contract with Elmer W. Davis for roof replacement and abatement services under the former Lions Falls School remediation and redevelopment project.
Second, Jessica. Any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries.
Resolution number 16 is a resolution authorizing annual agreement between the County of Jefferson and County of Lewis for activities under Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, also known as WIOA.
Moved by Vince, second by Andrea. Discussion. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries. So just one comment, if you want to say something during discussion period, it's very helpful for me if you turn your mic on ahead because I look for those lights. Do we have any other business?
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to need just a very quick executive session to alert the board on negotiations and the next step.
Someone like to move that? Jeff, do I have a second? Jess? Any discussion? All in favor? We are in executive session, and I don't expect that there will be anything afterwards.